Hello everyone, welcome to Behind the Storyboard, where today I'm joined by the most adorable 5'3" animator Laddi. I remember way back when you had been featured in one of Dan Plane's videos. For all of the audience who might not have watched your content yet, what will the viewers expect to see?
So, well, this week I'm gonna release like an animated skit to advertise my merch. I think it's funny. I don't know. It's yeah. It'll be out this week, but most of the time I'm probably just gonna be uploading my Laddie Explained series. That's like a series I recently started where I explain something to the best of my ability poorly, kind of on purpose, because I'm not really good at explaining things, and also it's really funny to try. Most of the time it's improvised. Sometimes I like write a script, but most of the time it's just like I don't know what I'm talking about. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I guess I had this video collab with this YouTuber L Cartoons. She made a video where I was her roommate, and so she's gonna be my roommate in the video that I'm working on after the merch advertisement. So I'm excited about that. That should be out sometime in December. And yeah.
Nice. So how about we hop on to some of the background questions?
Cool.
So let's jump right to the beginning. I heard from Moz that you're currently attending a school to study storyboarding, just like me. So
Oh yeah.
I think I could guess that art must be a passion then. So what's first got you into art?
Well, I had been drawing like as like a hobby. Like I would never like make my own characters. I would always like draw from life. Like that's what I did as a kid. And it wasn't until 8th grade when I took an art class for the first time in 8th grade. And that's when I first started drawing characters. And I remember it's really silly, but like this girl who sat next to me, she was super good, and like I got really jealous, and I was like, wow, I want to be as good as her someday. So that's what like started like my out of nowhere like wanting to get better at art, because I wanted to get to her level because she was really good. I think it's silly. But now it's just like genuinely I really love drawing. I'd done it became like the only thing I did all throughout high school, and I love like making new characters and like drawing like fan art and stuff. I think it's fun. So yeah.
Gotcha. So your persona has changed quite a bit since you first started uploading videos. How did you create the head and giant hair to be your kind of mascot?
There's actually a story behind that. So originally my character that I had in mind was just gonna be this like blue girl with like the same hair. It was the same like yellow poofy hair, but like she wasn't gonna it wasn't gonna be like Let Me Explain Studios where like she wasn't gonna have a mouth. And like that was the design I had like 3 years ago. And then I don't know, I didn't stick with it because I liked lip syncing, I guess. But how the fuzzball happened was I was in it was a long time ago. I was in a call with some friends, and Tabs, she was just drawing like art of all of us pretty much, just little sketches. And then when she was drawing me, she was like, "This is what I hear Laddie's voice coming out of." And that was when the first like fuzzball thing appeared. It was just like this like hay ball of fuzz with like the biggest like whitest eyes and like just sticks for feet, and it was hilarious. I don't know if I have it still, but it yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is me now. And at first it just started out as a joke, but then everyone would start drawing me that way, and so I just kind of adapted it as my own like character to represent Laddie.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, do the people around you support your YouTube career or you studying storyboarding? Do you think their opinion has pushed you to work harder or only held you back?
Everyone has been really supportive. Like when I told my mom that I wanted to start YouTube, she was on board. Like she was like, "Oh, that would be so great. You should do that." And that was really cool and unexpected because I was like, "Oh, YouTube kind of whack," but um and then like I told my friends at college because I made a bunch of new friends at my university, and they've been really like they're so my friends are so supportive. I'm so like blessed. I was really reluctant to talk about it because I feel awkward bringing up like, oh yeah, I've got this channel. But the first person I told at my newest college was one of my friends, and we were talking about art tablets, and I had just finished a sponsorship with Huion, which is why I got this screen tablet or whatever. And we were just talking, and she was like, yeah, how much was your tablet, and how much did you pay for your tablet? And I was like, I kind of didn't pay for it. And that's how the whole, like, I told her about my channel, and she was really, like, cool about it. And now my friend group has gotten a bit bigger, and everyone just calls me Laddi. Like, they don't even use my first name anymore. It's to the point where my professor calls me Laddi now, and I think that's really funny. Yeah, everyone's really, even my professors, like, they're so sweet. My 2D animation professor, he actually wants to write an article about me, and I'm like, okay.
It's so cute.
Yeah, one of my close friends actually, like, bought some merch, and I was like, thank you. So yeah, it's really great. I try not to, like, I don't want to brag about it ever, so I really am reluctant to bring it up, but then my friends will bring it up for me when, like, I talk to new people, and I think that's really funny.
It's just like you're walking down and your friend has your merch on, and then they're like, oh wow, I like your shirt. Who is that of? And you're like, she just points to you like, oh, it's her.
I love it.
So your YouTube channel was started on July 21st in 2016. Excluding the way you draw yourself, what do you think are the biggest changes you've made from the start of your YouTube career until now?
I think the humor? I guess, like, back then it was a lot more chill. Like, my very first video was my turning 18 thing, and back then my humor was a bit more sarcastic, I guess. And I was like, haha, yeah, I'm 18, yay. But for the most part, I don't know, it's a lot more random, not random, but I don't know, it's sillier now than it was back then, and it's a little bit more, I'm really bad at explaining things. That's just why I've got that Laddi explains. I just think it's more morbid in a way. Like, now, like, Laddie's like, oh yeah, she has this organ shop or whatever, and she'll don't mess with that Laddie, she'll eat your organs, or, something like that. And I think that's hilarious. And I used to, like, create content where I would just talk about myself in, like, some past stories, like, embarrassing stories. But now it's like, I don't have a lot of interesting stories to talk about myself. But, like, I really like the whole Laddi explains thing, because I don't really talk about myself. I just try to explain a thing poorly, and I think it's hilarious. I don't know.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Okay. So how about we move on to questions about the present? Are there any specific animators that inspired or inspire you to achieve?
Specific animators. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. With the power of editing, anything is possible.
Yeah. So what was the question?
Are there any animators that inspired you or inspire you to achieve?
An animator that inspired me to start animating was a My Little Pony animator. I was really into My Little Pony back then, and I still love the show. But there was this one animation YouTuber who he just did, like, some 2D Flash stuff, but his videos, they were all, like, really short skits, and I found them hilarious. And, like, I was like, man, I want to make stuff like that. But I didn't really know how. I would try to, like, use Flash, but I was really bad at it, so I was like, whatever, I'll just not. And then when I found the whole story time genre, with, like, Jaden and The Odd Ones Out and stuff, I was like, oh, this is something I could probably do. So that's, like, who inspired me to start, I guess. Who inspires me now, though? He's a storyboard artist for We Bare Bears, Louis Zong. Well, he did work for We Bare Bears, but he's, like, goals in every way imaginable. He's a storyboard artist, he's an animator, he does really good background work, and he's really good at making music. Like, he's so cool, and I don't know, he's goals. I'd love to meet him someday. But he really inspires me now. And then, like, of course, all my friends that are, like, super good at animation, like Rush Light Invader. He's so good. Everyone's so good at animating. But yeah.
Gotcha. So you went to VidCon not too long ago.
Yeah.
how was that experience being able to go and interact with so many other popular animators?
It's so surreal. I remember the first time I went to VidCon, it was so magical because, like, oh man, all these people who, like, I've only known online have faces and they're real. They're real people that have physical bodies and they don't look at all like how they draw themselves. For the most part, it's really cool. And then this year it was more of like getting to know people better because we'd already met and stuff, and so that was just like, wow, like bonding time. And it's been really nice. This is a lot of people. The community has really grown a lot, but it was a good time. The most surreal thing is like meeting all the fans that come out. My first VidCon, I didn't really get recognized a whole lot unless I was like around some friends, and then they'd hear my voice and then they'd be like, oh wait, are you Laddi? I'm like, yeah. But this year it was a little bit different. I'd walk around and like people would know who I was, and I was like, oh wait, really? Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Cause like I'm just a dude chilling in my room, like locked up all day, like either doing homework or just animating. And then like you go out and like have your 3 days of fame or whatever at VidCon, and it's like people actually watch my stuff. So. But yeah, it was fun.
Nice. Honestly, it's like one of my goals. Like, this is the goal that I've set for myself since I want to start getting into YouTube. I want to join the animator community and go for one time for those 3 days at the Airbnb with all the animators. That is the dream.
Heck yeah, dude.
So hopefully, if animation goes well this year, someone will invite me along because I'm way too nervous to ask anyone else.
That's valid. I wish you best of luck.
Thanks. So, what are the most important traits and abilities to have when going into the field of animation / storyboarding?
Socializing. Like, I know most animators are, I mean, we don't talk to people. That's why we're artists. We like to stay to ourselves and do our own thing. But networking and socializing with people and getting connections is probably one of the most important things as an animator, like especially if you want a job. Like, talking to people is so important, and I know it's really hard. It took a long time for me to like get decent at talking to people. I'm still not the greatest, but you learn as you go, and you slowly like learn to get out of your comfort zone, and it gets a lot better. But a connection, just like being a friend with someone, can go a long way. Like, I wouldn't have gotten where I am today without the connections that I've gotten. Like, yeah, I don't know if, because like you're in university, right? So say like you and your friends, you all after college, you all go and do your own thing. You are each other's connections. So if one of you gets really successful and goes off into the industry, and like they're like, hey, do you know anyone that would be good for this? They could contact you because you were their friend, and they're like, oh yeah, my friend, I was in college with them, and it just like making friends like can go a long way. And also friends are just nice. I like friends. But yeah. And then also, obviously, be good, practice a lot. But, like, the most important thing, I think, for me, would be, like, networking, getting yourself out there, so you can have a job someday in the future.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. How do you personally go about expanding your fan base?
Expanding my fan base? I'm not sure. I have a Discord server, and I talk to my fans on that quite a bit. And like we have monthly game nights and stuff, so that's fun. I don't know if that expands my fan base. I just kind of I get to know my fan base, I guess. Expanding, maybe just collaborations with like people maybe you wouldn't normally collaborate with. Like collaborating with other storytime animators is really good too, but if you want to, like, I've never really thought about that. Definitely social media and stuff, getting yourself, like, networking. But if you want, like, a different I guess if you want a different fan base, you'd have to maybe collaborate with someone who has a different fan base. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just making videos, and if that expands my fan base, then that's cool. But I don't know.
Awesome. So,
Yeah.
because you go to school for studying animation, how do you balance time for school animations and personal animations?
You don't. It's been a struggle. It's really hard. Most of the time, it's just like, hey, in the long run, I should just focus on my schoolwork. But then also, it's like, YouTube's your job, so you gotta do that too, or else you won't have food for, the next month. So it's like, I don't know. This past week has been a really good example of really struggling to try and balance them both because I really have to get this merch video out because my merch people are like, hey, you should really start advertising this really soon, and I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. So geez, what I ended up doing was I had a storyboarding class last semester, and for one of the assignments was making a commercial, and it had to be of a few specific things. But I went ahead and I asked my professor if I could make a commercial for my own merch because this was last semester. I didn't even think about making merch, but I knew that someday I was. So I was like, hey, I'll really be thankful to myself if I can get a whole commercial storyboarded for a grade, and then in the future when I do want to finally advertise some merch, I'll already have the storyboard done and I'll have less work. So I guess if you could take advantage of some of your schoolwork assignments for your own personal stuff later on, that's a really smart thing. But I was really grateful that I did that because this past week I ended up using what I made for storyboarding class, and it saved a lot of time. All I had to do really was just outline in color and get some voices for it. But I prioritized that over everything this week, over all my assignments, and I had a run cycle that was due for my animation class, and I didn't finish it. And then I had for my 3D animation class, we had to do a previs for our final as an animated short, and I didn't finish that, and my grades are gonna tank a little bit because of that. But now I have the video done, so I guess that's something, and I can pick up my grades afterwards. I'm such a bad example of time management. Maz is probably a better example because he did he was in school and he did YouTube. You end up having to lose a lot of sleep. Yeah, which sucks, but it has to happen. Oh, it's I tell myself I'll sleep when I'm dead, but I suppose if you'd want to find a balance, prioritize what is most important at the moment, and different due dates for different things, and maybe just set aside a couple hours for each thing. It's really an experimental thing. You gotta find what works best for you because everyone's work ethic and work methods are different. It's really hard. It really it's whack. Yeah, I don't know if that answers the question good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that answers it pretty well.
All right, cool.
So, what is one thing you think you do well and one thing you think needs improvement in terms of content or animation?
I think I'm good at coloring. I didn't know I was good at coloring until a friend told me that I was good at coloring, and I was like, I guess so. I like to color a lot, and if anyone in my university ever is like, hey, I need to finish my senior, I need some colors, if that would be, I'd be so down. I'd grab onto that in a heartbeat because I love coloring. But what I'm really bad at anatomy, I'm really bad at anatomy. I took a figure drawing class and I'm getting better, but I still suck at that. And really dynamic animations, those are really hard. I need to practice a lot. Just animating in general. And yeah, I think that's it. I don't know. That's all I can think of.
Gotcha. So, what do you personally consider success in the YouTube animation community, and how do you personally choose to measure it?
Success in the YouTube animation community, if I know analytically, if your video gets a certain amount of views equal to, I think it was half of your subscribed count within the first 48 hours or something, then that's considered a successful video. Something like that. I'm not 100% on it, but that's considered a successful video. For me, it's like my schedule is so whack. Like I don't have a really consistent schedule at all. So if I can pass, like, I don't know, if I can get my last video, the Laddi Explains College, that got, I think, 50,000 views within the first month, and that was already like significantly better than my previous videos that I'd done. So I guess it's like, if it's better compared to previous works, then I'd consider that successful. It's not really how big the number is. It's just how well you did. Like if you're growing compared to your previous stuff, I think that could be successful. If you're, and like, you know, if your channel's growing, it doesn't matter how fast it is, as long as, you know, you have a consistent audience, I guess, and you're happy with what you're making, I guess that would make you successful. Just be happy with what you're doing.
Gotcha. Yeah, consistent schedule. Never met her.
Yeah.
The merch company is like, oh, when are you going to post out this video? I don't know. Will I finish it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's been a nightmare. My merch lady, she's so patient with me. We had been planning like me releasing my merch for like a month and a half now, and like I keep giving her deadlines, and I keep having to push it back because it was like there was midterms, and then like I had all these projects, and then I was like, I'm sorry, I promise I'm getting progress done on it. It's just going really slowly. But finally it's coming out this week because it's done. I just have to add an extra thing to the end and it's done. So that yeah.
Can't
It'd be like that. Thanks. It's a silly ad. I don't know, it's dumb.
So how about we move on to the ending questions?
Cool.
What are your plans for the future as a content creator and also as a storyboard animator? And what are you doing to achieve these goals? So, ideally, when I'm out of college, I'd like to get an industry job. I don't really care where or what I'm doing. Like, I could be a cleanup artist. I don't care. I just really want to work in the industry with a group of people. I just want to be on a team of people making a show. Like, that's the ultimate goal forever. YouTube, I'll do it for as long as I need to, but really it's just been a thing that I've been doing to stay productive. And like I've learned a lot with YouTube. It's taught me a lot how to like network and stuff, how to yeah, I don't know. I'll probably just do YouTube until I feel like maybe, you know what, I don't need it anymore. I finally get to do what I want, which is be in the industry. So, yeah. So, what are some socials people can find you on, and how can they support you in your career?
Cool. So, I guess some social media. I've got Twitter, which is what I use the most. I tweet really stupid things. Most of it is at the Laddi. Like, my Twitter is at the Laddi. I have an Instagram that I post on sometimes. That's the Laddi. Laddi is taken everywhere, so that's why. What else? Don't really use a whole lot of social media besides those two, and Discord. If you want to support me, you can buy my merch. I also have a Patreon if you want to take a look at that. Thanks.
Awesome. Any last bits of wisdom you'd like to impart with?
Don't compare yourself to other people, because that's something that like a lot of I've noticed a lot of people do. Like even like my friends, they're like, because you know we're all animators, we're all competing with each other in our classes, and it's like, oh man, this other person did so good though, and I'm like, yeah, but you also did really good. Be proud of your own work. There's always gonna be someone that's better than you at what you're doing, like always. So, and if you compare yourself to them, that just completely diminishes your own improvement, because you're improving a lot too. So you know. It be like that. People are better than you out there, but also you're improving a lot too. Everyone is growing at their own rate. So, yeah, that's all I got.
You really do be like that.
I really do.
Mm-hmm. So it was awesome that we can make this happen. It was great to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was fun. Yeah. I got to talk about myself.
The links to
Good.
Laddi's channels and socials will be in the description below. Be sure to stay tuned for next time. Bye bye.
Bye.
Sub to Laddi, by the way.
Look, Laddi.